For a server named after the guy, you'd think he'd play a bigger role. All Dream is on the server is a villain. All he does is threaten Tommyinnit and instigate conflict, right? But don't villains usually lose? Usually a hero defeats the villain, don't they? Dream is more than just a villain. In fact, he is as much a hero as Tommy is. But real quick, before we get on, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It's free and only takes a second, so if you could make that red button gray, that would make my day. Stick around till the end for a hint at the next Dream SMP character analysis video. Also, big thanks to Scrawls, and anyone that came from him. The channel's seen some huge growth recently, and a lot of that is from him and his community. If you don't know who Scrawls is, first link in the description. He makes character analysis videos just like me. Make sure to check him out. Enjoy the video. When someone thinks of lore on the Dream SMP, you'd probably think of Tommy and L'Manberg, or Techno and bits about anarchy. In any case, Dream is probably not the first person that comes to mind when you think of roleplay on the server. The most in-depth lore we've gotten of Dream is that he's just a homeless Teletubby.
Actually, do you even have a house? I've never seen you in a house.
In this video, we're going to take a look at Dream. Unlike a lot of stories, the story on the Dream SMP can be followed from a multitude of different perspectives. The Dream SMP has many different themes, but the most pervasive one that has continued regardless of the arc is that people do not exist solely as heroes or villains. No one is always right, the same way that no one is always wrong. Everyone is always right in their own monologue, and that extends to streams. Whoever you're watching always seems like the good guy, and since Dream stopped streaming on the Dream SMP, the audience defaulted him to the villain, forgetting that he too has people he wants to protect and items he holds dear. We'll start way back, when he still broadcasted his perspective on the Dream SMP to analyze Dream and his descent to chaos. When the Dream SMP was first created, it was assumed that its namesake, Dream, was the ruler. He didn't have a castle like Eret, or a formal country like L'Manberg. Instead, everything the light touches was his kingdom. Even everything the darkness touched would probably be his. This was his SMP, and he would rule it how he pleased. He was the leader of his kingdom, and dissenters like those who formed L'Manberg would face repercussions. People that remained close to him would be treated with kindness and protected. Those who helped him would be rewarded generously with power and riches. But when looking at his role in the L'Manberg War, it's clear he started as a ruler, but by the end he lost that position of power. He lost his role as the king of the Dream SMP. Does that mean he lost? Absolutely not. In fact, until Dream loses his first and second canon life in the bunker, he has never truly lost. Because what Dream wanted was not the throne. To Dream, the throne is a bargaining chip. On Dream's chessboard, the king of the Dream SMP is just a pawn. Dream doesn't want something as concrete as a throne. Gold blocks are meaningless in the grand scheme of the SMP. What Dream wants is control. But can you blame him? Everyone wants control over their lives. Control allows Dream to minimize casualties to those close to him. Control guarantees protection for Dream and those he considers his friends. Notice that in the first L'Manberg War, every character on L'Manberg's side lost a canon life, while anyone that joined and followed Dream, completely unscathed. Not a single canon life lost. At this point, many viewers saw Dream as the antagonist, but is that really the case? Maybe from Tommy's and Wilbur's perspective, Dream was a towering obstacle, unjustly blocking them from their independence and turning one of the founders of the nation into a traitor. But view the situation from Dream's side. L'Manberg posed a threat to the Dream SMP, creating sides within the server, and if we've learned anything from Ranboo, it's that sides generate conflict and casualties.
Okay, I don't care about countries. You guys keep on choosing sides. You guys keep on choosing L'Manberg or Dream SMP. Why don't you choose people?
As a ruler and someone with the ability to control the situation, it's only natural that he would do everything he could to maintain the peace on the SMP and ensure the safety of his friends. Dream's no villain for fighting and blowing up L'Manberg. In fact, he's just as heroic as the L'Manberg soldiers, at least for now. After Wilbur and Tommy were exiled from the country, they received a message from Dream. Dream was planning on helping Tommy and Wilbur get the country back. It's at this point where Dream starts using his control for chaos. He offers his aid to Tommy and Wilbur so they can fight and kill Jschlatt and return to the country. He even gives Tommy his precious crossbow to deliver the finishing blow to Jschlatt. He says it's because Jschlatt is not going to follow Wilbur's principles and maintain their treaty. He's lost control over L'Manberg with Jschlatt at the helm, and Dream needs him gone. Once again, Dream desires control, and when he's lost it, he'll do whatever it takes to get it back. But at this point, he wants more than just control. After meeting Wilbur and discussing the plan to blow up L'Manberg, not only has Dream gained control, both over Wilbur and the fate of L'Manberg, he has obtained a new tool, a tool for chaos. The turning point for Dream between control and chaos was Wilbur. The origin, indeed the progenitor for chaos on the server wasn't Dream, it was Wilbur. Before L'Manberg was blown up by Wilbur, Dream was not chaotic in the slightest. There's nothing chaotic about the calculated sabotage and planning done in the first L'Manberg war, especially not in comparison to Wilbur's suicide bombing. Even within the chaos though, Dream is still in control. Eret may be a king, but he is entirely subject to Dream. Without Dream's sword and shield, Eret might as well be a statue. Pretty to look at, but in a practical sense, almost worthless. The same goes for George's kingship. In fact, Dream says himself that he doesn't need the king to do anything. In fact, the best king is one that doesn't act at all. After losing control of Manberg under Jschlatt's tyranny, Tubbo's rise to power is an opportunity to get it back. And that he does, seizing Tommy's comparably minor act of theft and arson as an opportunity to turn L'Manberg against him and exile him. Dream's desire for control is so strong that Tommy's crimes are massively inflated to get Tubbo to exile him. Technically at this point, Tommy's not part of the L'Manberg government. He used to be the vice president under Wilbur, but under Tubbo, Tommy's just a civilian. He said he would love to be the vice president after getting his discs back. But the thing is, he hasn't gotten his discs back. Dream takes the crimes of a citizen of L'Manberg and uses it as grounds to exile him out of the country, all to gain control over both Tommy and Tubbo. It's also around this time that Dream starts acting on his desires for chaos. It's at this point where he abandons the leather from his dead horse spirit, slowly beginning to sever his connections with that he holds dear. For Wilbur to blow up L'Manberg, he had to detach himself from it, viewing it as something that is no longer his, and for Dream to pursue chaos, he must do the same. Find anything that could be used against him and rid himself of any care he had for it, whether it be an item or a friend. I know I joked about this at the start of the video, but even Dream's homeless arc is an example of both his desire for control and chaos. After being ousted by Technoblade for being homeless, Dream finds himself in a position out of control, so he ventures out and builds a house, regaining control over his position in real estate. But after realizing that owning real estate is a connection that could inhibit his path to chaos, he quickly goes and blows up the entire house, becoming homeless once again. Right before Dream is sent to the prison, he is in a position with as much control as he's ever had. But this isn't the justified control that he had with the Dream SMP. This control is manipulative, toying with the heart of Tommy and Tubbo. He toys with Tubbo's life and Tommy's emotion, even entertaining a fake battle over fake discs. When he begins to lose his canon lives, Dream is finally put in a position where he is out of control over the lives of people around him, and even out of control within his own life. Desperately, he searches for some way he can regain that control, and he pulls out his trump card, the ability to revive people. In a recent Tommy stream, it's implied that Dream was testing revival on animals prior to being sent to the prison, reviving both Henry and Friend and storing them in his bunker. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say at this point, the person Dream was planning on reviving wasn't initially Tommy. When Dream tested revival on Henry and Friend, the person he was testing for was Wilbur. And like he revealed in the prison, if and when he revived Wilbur, Wilbur would be in debt to Dream. He would be Dream's agent of chaos, only serving to continue Dream's desire for chaos into perpetuity. So is Dream a hero or a villain? Even if you go into Dream's shoes at the end, it's pretty hard to justify what he's doing and call it heroic. Dream is a character that starts as a hero, but as he continues to sever his bonds, with Spirit, with George, and even with himself and his humanity, he steps down a villainous path of chaos. Above all else, Dream wanted control, and those bonds he had were always weaknesses that others could use to tug him out of control. But by cutting off all his connections, he was in control, but at the cost of his humanity. Perhaps that's the greatest act of chaos in the Dream SMP. Chaos is disorder and confusion, and I don't think there's anything more fitting than giving up your humanity. That's the story of Dream, a king, a hero, and his descent to chaos. If you've made it this far, thanks for sticking around for so long. To switch up from the last video, I've decided to write a bit of a poem to hint at the next character. There was once a great proud leader. Wed to fish and drugs, he was a dealer. In death, reborn brand new, with blood that bled blue, his same fate brought about to his succeeder. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future content like this. If you have an idea of who the next character might be, leave a comment below. I'll respond to as many as I can. Also, again, big thanks to Scrawls. If you haven't checked him out yet, his channel's the first link in the description. Drop over and give him a sub if you haven't already. With that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.